Fiifi Coleman. He is an actor, executive producer, director, and he is saying that copy stories, unqualified individuals led to the collapse of the movie industry. You know, this whole conversation of Ghana's movie industry, restoring it, building it back, has been very big for the past couple of weeks. And he has also added his voice to it. And according to him, the adoption of foreign cultures, a lack of original storytelling, and the absence of effective distribution channels are factors that affected the industry. I feel like Fiifi actually summarized the whole thing. The main reasons why Ghana movie industry collapsed. Distribution because we couldn't migrate from the analog to digital.
Ghana has always had that issue. When they were migrating from...
But with music, we've been successful.
I'm telling you,
we've been successful with music.
With movies, it is not the sellers of the movie, so it is we, the consumers.
The consumers.
Because you remember when they were moving from Piano Encore, Patikotum, when they were moving from that part to VCD, look at the hustle and bustle they had to go through. And from VCD to DVD, even that one, Crampono, people were struggling because all the machines they had was VCD machines. Yeah. Now they had to go and buy DVD machines. And the transition from DVD to pen drive, by the time they understood that we were using pen drives, the pen drives were being shown in video buses. Into moving and Kameme Kwakoto Ewo Senin channel. It is shown on the video bus. I think
the pen drive didn't help at all.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And now it has moved from pen drive. It is now on digital platforms. And today, if you go and tell my grandmother that you want to watch a movie now, okoto data, no abesho if I say YouTube, she wouldn't understand what you are saying. Because ope cassette, ope CD.
But it's not the same consumers now. One movie from download MP3 now they are doing the streaming platforms.
But you see, music, the transition with music song was very fast. Movies, I feel like movie acquired dating bench, marketing. But the music, until now, what is your board radio? So hey, what song is that? Oh, now you can even download on your phone, then I'll download. Moving on. So I feel, though this might not even be concrete reason, but I feel some of these things are things that played a vital role in affecting it. And he spoke about copying. I beg to differ, but that's never an issue. Copying of stories, forget. Do you watch Uche Nambonabo's movies?
Oh, God.
All the movies he's showing...
Those people, they stress me out.
They are all old movies that he's rolling out, and he's still getting numbers. They are all old movies that he'll go and copy a Genevieve old movie, use the storyline, retwist it, and give it. And probably his own movie 2 years ago, he also retwist it again and give it to you.
You are even saying 2 years ago, a movie they released last month, they will do it again with different characters, the same storyline, the same plot.
Exactly. And they are still getting the consumer. So I think copying is never going to, because...
But then the storytelling part...
No, see, the storytelling part, there are stories that you are telling in a movie that someone has told probably 5 years ago. So I believe in the notion of adaptation, probably adapting an old story, picking it from probably Kumasi Yanko like this. I pick Kumasi Yanko. I have new characters for the movie. What do? The only thing I do is Nana McBrown, Messiah said in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Messiah said
Sylvia.
They would all be waka pass in the new movie. They would come and probably leave it to their children living a new life with a city kind of vibe, or
maybe them even facing the consequences of their actions in the original movie.
Now you are able to introduce new faces, and you wouldn't be using the old heads.
You see, that new faces thing you've mentioned, that was also another problem.
Exactly.
Because I think it also got to a point, even before the movie industry came down, it got to a point where people, we were still seeing the same. Similar stories, same faces. Even if the stories were similar and were having different faces, we would have taken it like that. But the same Jackie Apia and Yvonne Nelson, and their boy, Nana, rich boy, a poor girl, and all of them. Oh, Jesus. And you see that royal, the way they portrayed royalty in those movies, the way it annoys me now. You see, then times we didn't know better, so we were just enjoying it. But then now you think about it, you realize that
how is this
that's Beyonce thing. No, it doesn't. The royal the royalty displayed in it. It doesn't even come close to anything Nigerian or Ghanaian. Like it's not even African.
But even when that time, the Nigerian movies that were showing that time, those as our movies were also doing kings and queens like that. So
no, but with them there was some iota of authenticity in there. Ghana had a which royal this thing that is moving and they'll be putting flowers on the floor for them to walk on.
But
it is not even realistic. Of course, I know it's fictional all of that. Fictional, so I get it. But sometimes in us telling our stories, I don't know if recently you came across a conversation on people have also brought up the woman king thing again, where I saw a post where somebody was saying that he's watching woman king. He's so annoyed with how they are speaking the so-called African assets. Yes. And it goes back to us telling our own story. Right. If we don't say it right, if we don't tell our story right, these people are going to say it in a way that only favors them.
Exactly.
Because tell me why you are telling me an African sound like they will come and catch us. Which African country speaks like that?
They are telling our stories for us because we don't really have more of these African stories. So, see, I believe if we want to sell our own stories, we need to start building it. Can you imagine a proper worked on Jazz Antoine movie? A proper worked on Okonfanochi story. From the things growing up, we had not the ones that just go short to. A proper
that one was comedy.
Yes. A proper Okonfanochi story. A proper Cape Coast Castle story. Slavery story.
Like, we have so much. We act like, I don't know, we act like we don't have any story. We don't have any background story.
We have.
You see, recently, Nigerians produced this movie, I think 1990 something or so. It had to do with a plane hijack and stuff.
Yeah, hijack.
And it was hijack. Exactly.
I watched that movie. Very
actually
nice movie.
something that actually happened.
92 hijack.
I didn't even know about this. I'm sure even as a Nigerian student, a school-going girl or boy, didn't even know about this. But because of this movie,
beautiful story.
I had to go and read about it. And there was one woman where they are going to make a movie on. Apparently, she was a very wicked woman. Like, she was she was selling her own people. She was a queen. She was selling her own people, and she's very powerful. And apparently, she even has a statue where there's a runabout named after her somewhere in Nigeria. And people didn't even know the story behind the woman. So now they're going to make a movie, and now people are getting to know the real story. So, Charlie, we'll just talk and talk and talk and talk at the end of the day.
I think, see, we all need to come together and get to that level. Sika, would you want to be a producer?
Of course.
So, like you are saying, we can adapt and rewrite such stories again. Get to that level. Probably, if it's the right presentations, we'll do, get the right funding.
And you know, something even just came in my head that this is a country where sometimes, even the stories that we say we have, our history, our backstory, and all of that, there are different sides to it.
Oh, yeah, the lies.
Do you believe that today I saw a video of a man standing in a farm, I believe it was a cocoa farm, saying that Tete Kashi didn't bring cocoa to Ghana.
I've heard that.
You see, he's saying that it is the Basel missionary.
There's this guy.
But growing up, we all know.
What has been telling that story.
Growing up, that was what we were told in social studies, in history class, that the first person to bring cocoa to Ghana is Tete Kashi from Fernando Po.
Because now, the man placed it somewhere and brought it to Ghana.
There are different stories, like myths and some oral stories around it. And now there's a different school of...
Yes, so there's always different twists to all these. And these African stories that can be worked on. The growing up, you remember the Ghana versus India story?
101.
101. They're now born age. You see, our grandfathers or grandmothers were very... I
think that one, it's a Ghana-Nigeria thing, because Nigerians also have
their own version. It's like, those who sat and cooked such stories, I don't know if they're watching Shaolin Soccer or what, it makes us very happy. So we should try. We have a lot of... most of those stories that Mami Dokun said are by the fireside can be remade into very good movies. Probably just taking the Kwekwanansi out and putting things that would make the movie nice. It would be super good.
Yeah, so it will be super good. Hopefully, we get people to try and adopt these things to make the industry a vibrant.
If you are talking about some of the stories, like we're saying, let's give credit to Aqua Magic for a movie like Amwenima's era. Amwenima is like, she's talking about ancient African gods.
Right.
And coming back into life and things that they did in the past.
Like
and
reincarnation.
Like a god that died, they killed her.
Has been reincarnated into a human being.
Into a human being and is wanting to feel like a god again. But people, she's come into a world after 1,000 years and nobody remembers and nobody knows. And
1,000 years.
Yes, and you understand. So such stories like it means this is like a native something. So it's a plus to some people who are doing well. And those two that are not doing and are waiting for the government to give them sikapudo. You will sit and wait for sikapudos.
And when they get the sikapudo, they misuse it. They don't even know. They actually don't have a plan.
They want to buy a car.
That's a start. But also, quick shout outs to Sparrow Productions. Shelley has she premiered a movie at midnight. I couldn't watch, but I watched it. I watched it today. It's a nice movie.
For Shelley, she's been doing so well.
And I feel like why did she take so long to get on YouTube?
I think probably she had a contract with Multi-Choice,
but she could have been doing side productions.
I think probably the productions with Multi-Choice were a lot because she shot Adoma. She shot Enu.
Is Adoma still running?
No, I think it's over.
Adoma was also very nice.
Enu.
Yeah.
She shot the one with Jocelyn Dumas. Lankai Morgan. I've forgotten the title.
Is it Madame or which one?
Madame.
Madame.
Yeah. She has a lot. If you're talking about Shelley, her records are one that
the movie she's released now is very interesting.
And you see the building she's even using, the apartments she used for her movies are like, are these all in Ghana?
You don't know.
Let's go, Kroma.
You don't know what's going on. Of course, Sika Debu or Krom Hadepa. Now let's